All right, so on to this story now. So social media has undeniably become an integral part of our daily lives, shaping how we communicate, how we connect and engage with the world around us. However, the vast reach and influence of social media platforms also brings about legal and ethical considerations. Misrepresentation on social media, whether through creating fake profiles or spreading misleading information, can have serious consequences, both legally and ethically. Well, in this discussion, we explore the potential risks and implications of misrepresenting oneself or registering misleading social media profiles, diving into the legal and ethical dimensions of such actions. For more on this, we are joined by Melusi Xulu, who is Managing Director at Donda Attorneys. Melusi, a good morning to you. Thank you so much for joining us. I mean, you can talk to us about the various examples of this that we have seen, but let's get into it. Do we have a problem where, for the most part, people really don't think about the legal ramifications of what they do on social media?
Good morning, Naledi, and to the viewers at home. Indeed, I think it's the excitement of, being viral, if I put it like that. For example, you find that you begin a page and you impersonate a certain professional and you'll be giving advices on TikTok or on Twitter, and you'll be getting like 1 million followers, which can assist you to make money through whether it's YouTube and so forth. But the problem with that is that it's an unethical thing to do, and legally you can, be punished for that, because you can't pretend to be someone else. You can't pretend to be a police officer or to be a doctor and so forth. So the issue is there's this excitement of being viral on social media. It's like there's two aspects of life. There's, the physical, the usual way of communicating with people. Then there's the virtual life, which is what people are using. And unfortunately, there are consequences for that.
Yeah, I mean, we're seeing a story that certainly has gone viral of someone who has allegedly impersonated a doctor, and called himself a certified doctor on social media, many calling that individual the doctor influencer. Here's the reality, is that for many professionals, though, social media does become quite a massive and useful marketing tool for whatever businesses it is they're running. So besides from just the legal ramifications of what it is that we post, perhaps there are dangers as well from a safety of the public point of view, where you are advertising yourself as a doctor and people believing that they can put their health in your hands.
Indeed. I mean, without, beating around the bush, I'll come to the issue of a certain individual who pretended to be a doctor, who was also giving out medicine or pills to the community. And, the danger is they could be negligent, because you're pretending to be a specialist doctor or a specialist somebody in any other field, and you'll be giving advices and even, medicine if you're pretending to be a doctor. And that is wrong, because people will be trusting you because you are saying a doctor, and they'll be using whatever you're giving them. And then if it's a wrong thing, they can die because of this. So being a doctor is not just something that you can play around with, or any other profession.
Yeah,
so it's a very problematic issue.
Yeah. Is there something to be said, though, about,
Yes.
how we also certify who works where? I mean, you've got the Department of Health, speaking about this very individual, and I think you can certainly go onto social media as the public and go take a look at the story for yourselves, because it's a big story and it's trending. But you've got the Department of Health saying that this individual weaved their way into the Helen Joseph Hospital, creating content for social media. I mean, how on earth did that happen? How, if it did?
Well, it's all about impersonation. Remember, if you look at the story that you're talking about a certain Mr. Lani, because it's in the public, it's not something hidden. He pretended to be someone else. And that particular person, Dr. Zengelo, is actually a second-year medical intern. So he was pretending to be him. And that was easy not to detect him. So it's possible to pretend to be someone else. And according to Section 40 of the Health Professions Act, the 1974 Act, as shown there on the screen, if you use, as per paragraph B, if you use someone's name who's actually qualified, that's a criminal offense. And if you pretend to be someone who are not registered with the Health Professionals Council in South Africa, you can be punished by paying a fine after being convicted, or for imprisonment not less than 5 years.
Okay, I'm just looking here at what the law says, and we've got this graphic running, of course, on the screen as well. You can take a look at it. The penalty for professing to be a registered person or holder of certain qualifications. Any person who is not registered in respect of any health profession but pretends to be registered in respect of such a profession or uses any name, title, description, or symbol indicating or calculated to lead persons to infer that he or she is the holder of any of that qualification, is recognized by the relevant professional board as acceptable for registration in respect to such profession, but of which qualification he or she is not a holder of, shall be found, I'm skipping now, of course, to the bottom of that, shall be found guilty of an offence and conviction liable to a fine or to imprisonment for a period of not exceeding 5 years, or to both a fine and such imprisonment. So these are serious ramifications if you are, pretending to be a serious professional, particularly in the medical space, on social media. Do we need to do more educating people about really what the law says about what they can and cannot do on their social media platforms? Because it seems that we have a sense that, well, it's my page, I'll do with it as I please.
Like I said in the beginning, Naledi, I think it's the excitement of, trending on social media, and then you don't see that what we are doing is wrong. But as we've seen, I think the issue of this particular topic that is trending of that individual that you spoke about is going to teach people that you don't pretend to be someone that you are not, especially if you are, it's a serious page that you've obtained. For example, some people can make a fake page, but it will be all for comedic fun. But that is fine as long as it's a comedic issue. But if you are serious and you're saying you're a doctor and you don't have a matric, but you got a high school diploma from somewhere else, you are being serious and you're pretending to be someone that you're not, and you suffer the consequences of the law.
Yeah, I mean, I'm keen to get a few examples, because I think if you're able to jog our memory, perhaps that'll stick with many social media users. Provide a few examples of high-profile cases that maybe pop up for you, where individuals or organizations face legal or reputational damages due to misrepresentations on social media.
Well, on social media, I don't have many, but I know that there was some doctor in Pietermaritzburg who was pretending to be a dentist. Who was from, and they've been arrested. But also, I think on social media, we're now seeing people being brave enough to go to social media to pretend to be the people who are not, or pretend to be professionals that they are not. So I think this is going to be a lesson to the public as a whole.
Okay. Yeah, Melusi, thank you so much for speaking to us. I think an important discussion to remind us that even on our social media pages, we really do have to be responsible with what we put out there. Melusi Xulu there of Donda Attorneys. Thank you so much for your time.